I've come to the conclusion that it's most probable that Star Trek discovered faster than light warp speed by just observing the speed at which Colourpop gives out new releases. Hello, hi friends, my name is Mia and this is My Virtual Vanity, a place where we both love makeup and we're quite critical of it. If you're new, hi, thank you so much for joining, I love you and I appreciate you. If you're returning, you might have thought I had settled down, that I had become a nice booty guru, you know, doing my looks, minding my business, recommending my shit. But no, I actually lulled you into a false sense of security because I am back on my bullshit, roasting new releases. So, get yourself ready because it's going to be as hot as in a kebab shop. Because don't forget that this series was popularized by Samantha March and now everyone and their mothers is doing it. So if you want to see everyone, go check down the community playlist down below. Without further ado, let's get to the meat of the video and talk about some new shit. We're going to start with something that I actually enjoy and I'm excited about, and this is Igneous Cosmetics' new palette called Karoo. Apparently, the color story is inspired by the Karoo region in South Africa, whose pronunciation I'm probably mangling, I am so sorry, which is characterized by its lush and beautiful, unusual vegetation. Honestly, really excited for this palette because I've seen some swatches on their Instagram page and it looks like exactly the type of greens that I love. So those khaki-ish but not quite khaki forest greens that are more yellow leaning than blue leaning. I'm very excited for the reveal of the full palette. So then there's another indie brand that I am excited about but haven't made a purchase from yet, so I can't vouch for them like I vouched for Igneous Cosmetics. Their name is Asgard Queen Cosmetics and I love their theme. It is Norse mythology themed. The names, the shades, the packaging itself is a Norse mythology theme and I absolutely adore it. Now they've created loose pigments, loose highlighters and lipsticks, and also 2 shades of blush, I believe. Also, please notice, and it's time for me to nerd out, that the symbol on all of the packaging is the Valknut. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly because I've only been reading it, never listened something about it. The Valknut is mostly associated with Odin on one hand. So warriors would tattoo it on their body as a sign of their devotion to Odin and honor in battle and the such. And unless you were really committed to that path, at least in modern times, in modern worship, you really shouldn't get that tattooed because you're basically making a commitment for life that that is your path. Historically, the symbol is a bit more vague. It's associated with Odin, yes, but it's also associated with death and rebirth, the passage between life and the afterlife and maybe even back. So it's really a very fascinating symbol, and if you're a huge nerd like me, I do suggest reading a bit about it. And yeah, it tickles my fancy that they chose that particular symbol because it's literal war paint. Then more indie news, Neve Cosmetics came out with their Sparkly 77 collection featuring 2 glosses and 5 eyeshadows. And I bit the bullet, I bought these. Don't waste your money on these. The shadows are absolutely mediocre. Go get yourself some looksy shadows because they're cheaper and better. And the pan size won't give you anxiety. And the glosses are nice, but they're just okay. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to be purchasing any more Neve Cosmetics in the future because I just kept getting lulled into their wonderful theming, but then the products themselves just disappoint. The best thing that I got was actually a gift with purchase, and that was their Pastello eyeliner formula. It's like a pencil eyeliner and that is great. Best formula ever. So if you want to get anything from them, I would suggest that, but not this. Jeffree Star is coming out with new glosses for $18 each and I could not give less of a fuck. I'm a lip gloss maven, but honestly, besides the fact that it looks like the unholy child of Sailor Moon's wand at a literal dildo, it also comes from the devil, and I'm not the kind that would bargain with the devil for a little sparkle. Speaking of influencer releases, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics came out with Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, finally. And it's lipsticks, nude lipsticks, which is, some people say it's a bad choice. I actually think it's a really smart choice because you will get more sales from nude lipsticks than you would from anything innovative. Day-to-day, in your day-to-day life, how many people do you see wearing blue lipsticks or duochrome lipsticks? And how many do you see wear rosy tones, nudes, browns? It's a smart release for her, especially since she's just trying to build up the brand. And let's face it, Jaclyn Hill's makeup style is basic AF. It would be off-brand for her to come out with anything that's not basic AF and tacky, because that packaging, dear lord, the early 2000s glitter glam jumped out. For me, it's a bit too much, honestly. I think she puts diamonds on the packaging because it took as much time for this release to come out as it did for diamonds to form in the crust of the earth, aka literal ages.
Mia here. So I think that another problem of this release is, I forgot to mention initially, the fact that that ship has long since sailed. Jaclyn is no longer at the height of her popularity. She doesn't have as many fans as she used to. She's lost a bit of her fan base after the whole Morphe shilling. So honestly, she should have come out with this 5 years ago, not now. She's still gonna sell, probably, but I feel that if she would have come out with this when she should have, at the height of her popularity, it would have been one of the first influencer brands and she would have paved the way. Now she's just another influencer coming out with generic shit among 1,000 other influencers doing the same.
The pricing is okay. It's $18 per lipstick, which is not the cheapest, but not the most expensive either. So if you're interested and you don't have 1,000 other nudes in your collection, Lancome is coming out with a new collaboration with Italian influencer Chiara Ferragni, which I honestly don't know what she does, and I don't care. I'm honestly saying I don't care a lot in this video already, and I'm sounding so edgy and negative, but it is what it is. What is Lancome doing asking for Lancome prices and putting that shitty Claire's sticker on it? It looks so childish, so jarring against the luxe-ish packaging, even more jarring against the price point, because dear God. Apparently it was inspired by K-beauty, and K-beauty does not mean childishness. Childishness and the kawaii appeal of Asian beauty are two different aesthetics. And please do not insult K and J and whatever other letter beauty that's in Asia, comparing it with this shitty sticker. Please, for the love of God, have some respect. Speaking of collaborations, Anastasia came out with a collaboration with the drag queen Alyssa Edwards. I am honestly not so much into drag queen culture like other people on the internet are. Like, I enjoy RuPaul's Drag Race, but I don't follow any of them actively. Like, it's an entertaining show and I like it and I admire them for their pizzazz and grit and whatnot, but I'm not that much of a drag queen stan like so many people seem to be. So as part of the human part of the collaboration, I don't really care. I'm sure she's amazing and fierce. I just don't really relate to her in any way. They literally used a stock photo of an eye blinking and put it on the palette. I am embarrassed. Second, it bothers me that the packaging is this beautiful hot pink, but there is no corresponding hot pink in the palette. And that the hot pink clashes with some of the colors in the palette, which granted is just one of my hang-ups. The palette itself people love it. It's obviously high quality from the looks that I've seen people do on Instagram. People are eating it up, and maybe for a good reason, but to me it doesn't inspire me in any way, because it doesn't seem cohesive to me. It doesn't sell me a story, it doesn't sell me a dream, it doesn't sell me an aesthetic. And it may be because I'm me and I'm not into the whole drag queen fandom. If you're a fan, that might be different, and you know, we're all amazingly different. And they also come in with a body oil retailing for $28, which is a sparkly dream, and I like the look of it, but body oils to me are the biggest ripoff ever, because it's literally oil with sparkle, so I don't care about that. There's a set of pigments that's $22, and they're beautiful shades, but they are incredibly basic, and you probably have them 1,000 times over in your collection, and you definitely don't need those. A tub of pigment will last you a literal lifetime. You will be buried with it like pharaohs. They will find you mummified after the nuclear post-apocalypse with that jar of pigment in your hands. It will last forever, so if you want a pigment, you better be ready to make a commitment. However, the interesting thing in this collection, at least interesting for me, is the set of 4 mini matte lipsticks, which are beautiful coralish, reddish sort of tones. They're beautiful, but I'm not sure I'm gonna grab them because I have literally so many lipsticks. Literally, so many. I don't think I need more, but we'll see about that, because there were other things that I told myself I have plenty of and eventually bought, so yeah. On the cheaper end of things, Makeup Revolution came out with a collab with Iraqi Kuwaiti influencer. Wait, I can't see. Okay, Dana Al Tuwarish. And I'm probably butchering her name, I'm sorry. It came out with 3 things. So there's a palette for $18, there's a lipstick kit for $16 composed of liner, lipstick, and lip gloss, and there's also a strobe palette. And I'm not interested in any of these. The palette is mostly neutrals, and I don't get like a calling to it like I would to a neutral palette that, you know, I acknowledge is boring but would interest me. The lipstick color, I don't think it would suit me, and the strobe palette, I already have plenty of highlighters. I'm not interested in those in particular. But what I really like is that they're breaking their mold of mostly collabing with US, UK influencers and just going a bit international with it. I'm really hoping that this continues, because this is honestly a new and fresh aesthetic for them, and it's breaking apart the monotony of so many boring ass releases. Then Colourpop came out with 2 new palettes. So one is their anniversary palette, which is the main squeeze palette, which is in red, retailing for the regular $12. Unless you wear red shadow every day, you don't need this palette. Besides, I also feel that a lot of the tones in it are similar, so you are better off quantity-wise, not price-wise. Quantity-wise, you would be better off grabbing 3 or so singles from their collection that are in similar shades of red and orange. Granted, it would cost you as much as the palette, so it depends what you price more, price per gram or quantity itself. I, for one, would prefer to pay a bit more money per gram and not get as much product, just to keep my collection more streamlined, but your mileage may vary. As I said, there's not enough variation. I wish they would have just gone a bit darker or a bit lighter in some of the shades, but then probably people would have complained that they've added browns or pinks or neutrals or whatever, so I guess their back was a bit at the wall with this situation. Then we've got the Blue Moon palette, which is all blues. It's a work of art. I love that it's called the Blue Moon. It's still $12. It's available. I'm not going to pick this one up. And not because the colors don't interest me, but because I already have all of those colors in other parts in my collection. I have them in singles, I have them strewn around in palettes. I don't need a duplicate. even though it's cheap. But it is beautiful. However, I feel that this will be good for someone that wants to dip their toe in blue and wants to try different shades at a really convenient price point. Jouer is coming out with their Tanlines summer collection featuring one palette, one blush duo, and 2 lip glosses. The lip glosses, wonderful, beautiful. But I think I can find similar shades at NYX. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick that one up, just price point wise. I just noticed I filmed 20 minutes without mascara on, which is unfortunate. So we're continuing on the right foot. It's 12 p.m. I don't want to refilm this. I was on fire. I had some good jokes. I don't think the muse is gonna strike twice. So we're proceeding as is. As I was saying, I also have a palette, which, clever devils. I would have dragged them for putting out the very stereotypical summer palette, neutrals, pops of blues, but they added a lime and a green in there. So they're just a bit more okay than the thousands of brands that put out neutral palettes with pops of blue for summer. And I actually think this looks pretty cute. I am letting myself be tricked by those 2 pops of greens and those 2 pops of blue. It's cute, but if you're a makeup lover, you probably have this 1,000 times over in your collection in different palettes, scattered across singles. You probably already have all of those colors. If you don't, it's cute. Urban Decay is coming out with a new heavy metal collection, and this one has, let's see, 8 glitter eyeliners, and these retail for $21 a piece. Okay. Glitter gels, 8 of them, $22 a piece. That is a lot for essentially microplastics that are shiny and suspended in clear base. Okay. 4 new 24/7 pencils and 4 new glosses, and this is coming out in June, and I am getting early 2000s sparkle glitter flashbacks. But if you're a lover of glitter and you're a fan of Urban Decay, I guess this is okay. It's pretty. I just don't see the value in it, but mostly because I really don't like what Urban Decay has been putting out. I've been disappointed by them time and time again, so I may be biased. Lethal Cosmetics is coming out with some gorgeous singles. It's such a beautiful, lush, tropical color story. And all of these retail for $6, and you can get them in a bundle for $41.6. That's very precise. Lethal Cosmetics is on my wish list, but the price point of each single being $6 kinda detracts me from them, because I know that I'll have to pay shipping on top of it. So I just kind of have to gather the courage to grab a couple of them whenever I'll have more money put aside for fun stuff. So I don't know how the formula is, I just know that these colors are just amazing and beautiful. We have reached peak capitalism again. Ipsy is collabing with Tetris. Yes, the game, because a game totally has a makeup aesthetic, and apparently we needed that. So there is a whole set that retails for $39, and it's 2 palettes, basic as fuck, 3 lip balms with hello fellow kids, hello 90s gamers types of names, brushes, lip glosses, and a highlighter. This is a ploy for your money based on nostalgia, based on the fond memories that you had when playing Tetris as a kid, when life was simpler, when you didn't have a shopping addiction and you didn't have bills to pay. This is empty. This doesn't have any link to the game aside from some like Tetris blocks on the packaging. That's it. They didn't even bother to make it a bit more personalized, to look at this and be like, yeah, this is Tetris. If you took away the packaging, would you be like, yes, this is a Tetris collection? I think the fuck not. These are some generic palettes with some generic colors with the Tetris name slapped on them because they want your money. An original idea would have been to have the shade, the eyeshadow pans be in the shape of Tetris blocks and have them be like perfectly slotted together, but that would have been a bit more hard and more costly, and they couldn't have gotten as much, so much of your point as they could have. So, isn't capitalism fun? Morphe is coming out with a new palette. This is their Gem Artistry palette, retailing for $39. If you love purple shadows, you don't need this because you probably have plenty of purple shadows in your collection. If you don't love purple shadows and you want this, why the hell would you want so many pans of purple shadow? If you don't have purple shadows in your collection and you would think, oh well, this would fill the gap in my collection, think really well. Why do you not have any purple shadows? Do you actually wear them? Do you desire to wear them? Have you ever felt the need in the morning for a purple shadow? It's almost 40 pans of purple. And I'm a purple maven. I love it, but it's too much. I feel Morphe could just go the Colourpop way and do smaller palettes with more curated color schemes, and they would be much better than this huge tabletop shit. Becca's coming out with a Pearl Glow collection, and that consists of a palette, a highlighter, and 3 lip tints. Now, the palette looks like a very sensorial experience because it's got those beveled pans. Same with the highlighter. However, the colors are extremely basic, and Becca with eyeshadows, I haven't seen them doing really well. Like, I've seen their formula compared from subpar to mediocre for the price. So I don't think that just for the fact that those pans look like little UFOs is worth giving the money, because it's Becca and it's going to be expensive. So the palette is going to probably be $40 something. The highlighter is going to be 20 something. The lip tint's 20 something. Really consider if it's worth it, especially since it's so basic and it's just like the gimmick of the fact that it's just domed. The highlighter though looks pretty. I might fall for that gimmick. We'll see if they bring it in Romania in stores and if I can swatch it, because I like me a pink highlighter, no lie. Juvia's Place came out with their I Am Magic foundation and concealer collection. The foundation features 42 shades from the lightest to the darkest. Truly. Okay, maybe not to the darkest. Maybe there are darker people out there, but like pretty dark. Then the concealers have 20 shades, somewhere in between the foundation shades. I have seen pale ass bitches like me complaining that there are no shade. And I'm like, can't you fucking let people of color have one goddamn thing? Do not come for Juvia's for catering for once to someone that is not you. Anyways, I would love to support this collection, but unfortunately, I will not be able to swatch this foundation. And 2, it's a soft matte finish. My dry ass cannot handle soft matte anything, so unfortunately I'm going to pass. But I'm really happy that it's such an inclusive range and people will have access to it, and people do love Juvia's so very much. So there is that. The foundation retails for $20, concealers for $14, and it's already available. Kim Kardashian came out with the Mrs. West collection, which is apparently inspired by her wedding. She literally looked the same like she does on any other day on her wedding, but what the fuck do I know? This is boring, this is basic. My pink loving boring ass kind of like this. I'm not gonna pay KKW prices for it because I probably have a triple in my collection, but I think it's pretty. Don't come for me. Natasha Denona, how fucking dare you come out with something that I actually want with your goddamn prices? How fucking dare you? There's this Sunrise palette, which I find an object d'art. I find it absolutely gorgeous, but it retails for $60, and I do not fuck with those prices. It's beautiful. I love it. And I'm going to try to dupe it with stuff that I already have in my collection. And I want it, but I'm not gonna get it because it's Natasha Denona, it's expensive. And also I heard Natasha Denona's formula goes bad after 1 to 2 years. And if I'm gonna pay $60 for an eyeshadow palette, I want to be buried with it. I want to die before that palette does not work anymore, okay? Tarte is going out of their comfort zone again. They are collabing with an influencer called Jessie Paege. For Pride, they've done a rainbow palette. I just looked a bit into her because I was like, if Tarte fucking dared to collab with a straight influencer, but they surprised me. She is bisexual. She seems like a really nice girl. I saw that she had battled anorexia and is currently in recovery and still recovering, so that kind of touched me. You know, I think this is a nice collab. They've gone out of their comfort zone. It's a rainbow. They've collabed with someone in the LGBTQ community. Granted, someone palatable, as in a young, bisexual, white woman. But it's a start. It's a start for the Barbaras. I'll have to give them that. Beaute is coming out with their Oceanic, how do you pronounce that in English? I'm gonna go for Oceanic palette for $39. And it's beautiful, but these are not the shades of green and blue that I like. They're too blue leaning because the ocean water. I've only heard good things about their formula, but honestly I'm not interested in this, and I'm not gonna use those shades enough. They're just not my type of shades. Huda Beauty is coming out with 3 new mini palettes, and these are neon themed, and I love them. The orange one and the yellow one just seem to fill in gaps in my collection that I didn't know I had. The shades are so beautiful. What's the tea on Huda? Is she still problematic? Has she renounced her ways? Because I remember a year or so back, she was a bit problematic. Does anyone know? Can I buy these without feeling guilty afterwards, or should I just not do anything and not give her more money? Just please advise me in the comments down below, because the want is great. By the way, these retail for $29 out June 6th. MAC is coming out with 4 minis of their MAC Fix Plus, which I always say isn't worth the hype, but I'm actually starting to love it. Probably another product that I'm having Stockholm Syndrome with. And these are all fragranced. It's in peony, watermelon, white tea, and what else? Pineapple. You know what? Fragrance is so bad for your skin. Like, I'm gonna have to really check the ingredients on these before buying it, because fragrance in stuff that goes in your skincare is a no-no. So we'll have to see about that. I might not resist the temptation despite knowing that it's bad for me, just like chocolate, pizza, shawarma, and other such delicious. And last, and I really do mean last, even least, the beauty blender is coming out with a yellow blender, and I'm like, are you guys too busy shading other brands on your Instagram and Twitter to actually come out with something innovative? Really? It's a fucking yellow egg. Do yourself a favor, grab a pack of Real Techniques, because it's gonna get you much cheaper for as good quality. Or if you're in Europe and you've got like a Demea Deutsch Market near you, go grab one of the Ebelin sponges, because that shit is holy grail. I've purchased it 5 times and it's literally dirt cheap. And that is all for the new releases of this month. We had a rough start. We were looking a bit naked. We pulled ourselves together halfway. We roasted what we could. Guiltily, I lost it after Huda Beauty, Natasha Denona, and others. And now we're here. What a journey it has been, but truly the most important thing have been the friends that we made along the way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know, what are your opinions on these new releases? What would you want to pick up? What do you think is shit? Let me know. You know, I always like the back and forth in the comments, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys just interacting with me and putting up with my bullshit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you the next time. Bye!